think it's better to explain why it exists, because this is what's more important than what it actually is. Like, people were never taught how to think, how to solve a problem, how to make a decision, how to learn, how to understand themselves, and how to think about their own thoughts. And I find that to be a shocking disservice to the human race. And the reason I say that is because everything you do in your life is downstream of those 6 things. Like, if you don't understand yourself, how are you supposed to understand anybody else? If you can't make a decision, how are you supposed to move forward in your life in a direction that's meaningfully right to you? If you don't know what your values are, how do you know where you're pointed? So it exists because that gap is huge and it's real. And I suffered from that my entire life. Like most people's problems are they don't know what they don't know. Like, imagine, like, people are experiencing massive amounts of stress and pain and frustration because they simply don't know what they don't know. So that's why it existed. And what it is practical tools for your mind based on science, based on 11 proven therapies taken from these therapies and then put into a very intensive 5-day behavioral change program where you come to us with all of your problems and the story you tell yourself. And in real time, you learn these tools, you learn these skills, and you apply them to the problems in your life specifically to you. And that does 2 things. 1, it removes these problems that you enter with, but 2, it gives you the skills to deal with future challenges that are going to come into your life. Now, obviously, it doesn't stop at the 5 days, because anyone that tells you, listen, you can change in 5 days is lying. Like, what you will come on the Wednesday feeling a certain way, and you will leave on Sunday feeling a completely different way. That's a fact. I've done it with 753 people so far. But when you leave, things are going to creep back in. So the way Human Tools is designed is it's a 120-day behavioral change process where you learn critical skills in real time on real problems using yourself as the curriculum. So we don't tell you, this is wrong with you, that's wrong with you. We don't do any of that. You come, you have whatever's going on in your life, and we give you the tools to solve it now and in the future. And then when you leave the 5 days, what happens is, in order to change, you have to keep practicing. In order to remember, you have to keep recalling. So what we do is 30 minutes a day, every day for 115 days, there is a lesson that's from the 5 days. And then there's a behavioral action. So you go through this learning loop of very intense process. It's beautiful, by the way. It's really deep. It's very revealing. It's like the deepest look at yourself you'll ever have, that you've never had, basically. And that's not a problem. It's just you've never looked, right? So then you come to Human Tools, you get the space to say and be and do things that you're not usually doing. It's a very non-judgmental space, so you can say what you want, behave like you want, do what you want. And then you work on your own problems using decision-making frameworks, problem-solving frameworks, critical thinking frameworks, and you kind of start to understand your story. And you start to understand why you are the way you are and understand how to change. And you start to understand how to move forward and how to make a decision and how to set a goal and how to develop consistency and how to be patient. And you remove all of these inflexible demands that you have on yourself and the world and other people. And then once you leave, you reinforce, you reinforce, you reinforce, you relearn, you remember, you relearn, you remember. And you go through this process of, maybe, for example, you will do a lesson on a Tuesday. You'll revisit that lesson from that Tuesday 6 to 7 times in that 120 days. So you remember it. So it's in your arsenal. So then when this thing happens, or you get triggered, or something comes into your life that you didn't want to happen, there's a tool there for you to deploy, use it, carry on.